Welcome along to day 6 of our 14-day road trip across America, visiting great amusement parks along the way. In this episode, we head to the cheapest theme park we've ever visited. Mount Olympus cost us just $5, a little around £4 to visit due to a Black Friday offer. But was this deal too good to be true? And what was the Wisconsin theme park actually like to visit? Was it worth a 4-hour diversion away from our main route? We're testing our spines on the shake, rattle and roll of the park's collection of 4 wooden coasters, including the corkscrewing Hades 360. And we're taking a spin cycle inside the giant Medusa slide wheel, this insane looking water slide that's like riding through a big washing machine. Everyone into the Zaniski, let's go! Hey, this is Stu for Out and Back Travel. I make videos like this one in the hopes it can inspire your own theme park adventures. Please like the video, share it and subscribe to the channel, as that really helps me out on YouTube, thank you. We'll actually start this episode on day 5 after a fulfilling second day at Cedar Point. Staying in Sandusky is either expensive, look at this, a Holiday Inn Express for £400 that can book right off, and the more budget friendly motels are literally dumpster fires, so an additional night in Sandusky was less than ideal. We also had to make a 5.5-hour drive to the Chicago area for Six Flags Great America. So we had the idea to drive a little over halfway, so we were kind of on our way there. Portage was the pin in the map at around the 4-hour mark, so a little over halfway, and we bagged the days in Portage for the bargain price of $39.79 per room, so that worked out at £19.90 per person. Absolute bargain, get in there. It also had an adjoining Denny's diner, meaning it didn't matter what time we arrived. After a day at Cedar Point, we could still get some food, if you can call Denny's food. After an acceptable night's rest, we could then be flexible. We had option A, which was to take the 1-hour 40-minute drive to Six Flags, and we had a season pass. It was a big park, we'd never been before, so that was on the table. Or option B was to drive a little further, 3 hours and 45 minutes, yeah, nearly 4 hours, to Mount Olympus. And that's the option we went for, of course it is. Of course we took the harder option. But the benefits of having additional drivers included in our fly drive package meant we could all do shifts on the driving and push on through to get to Wisconsin. If you were thinking of visiting the parks in this region for your own road trip, practically there are much more efficient airports to start or end your route. From Europe, there are many affordable flights to the East Coast, especially New York, especially Boston, which is why we choose to start our road trip there. But to get to the middle of America, the scarcer competition and longer distance on those flight routes pushes those prices up. So we could have flown direct to Detroit or Minneapolis, but it would have been the best part of $1,000, if not more, just for the flight part alone. And Chicago was actually about £500 more than what we paid to fly to Boston, and also the car rental is a bit pricier too. We also prefer the parks on the East Coast, which is why we took the route we did. If you were thinking of visiting the parks in this area, it's probably a lot more practical to fly to Chicago. If you'd like any help with putting a route together or would like to see some sample itinerary videos, please let me know in those comments below, I'd be happy to help. So after a long ass drive, we arrived in the Wisconsin Dells around 11 AM. The streets were alive with activity and it seemed every building had a bloody water slide coming out of it. Like some weird version of Monopoly where you can upgrade your hotel to have slides. It reminded us of our visits to Pigeon Forge, so immediately we regretted we didn't have longer to stay and explore what the area had to offer. It looked fab. On entering the car park for Mount Olympus, we were immediately stung with a $40 parking charge, ouch, and that's twice as much as we paid for everybody's tickets to get into the park. So already our $5 tickets were too good to be true, and we're now around $15 per person with the parking, which is still not a bad deal. It is a bit of a bargain, isn't it? And the park was open from 10 AM till 8 PM. So we had around 9 hours to complete the park. And there's 5 credits on the coaster bingo today. Cyclops is a 1995 CCI family wooden coaster. Hades 360 is the 2005 Gravity Group Woodie with its 800-foot underground tunnel that dives under the car park and its corkscrew inversion. Little Titans is the only still coaster today, and it's a kiddie one. Pegasus is another CCI 1996 junior wooden coaster, and Zeus is a CCI 1997 out and back woodie. There's definitely more of a focus on water rides and an endless tarmac of go-kart tracks that go on for absolute miles. And then the wooden coasters, there aren't really filler rides here, it's just water slides, go-kart tracks and wooden coasters. That's not a bad situation to find yourselves in, is it? It's quite fun. Our plan for the day was to get the coasters knocked out, then have a chill in the water park before driving back to Illinois. Of course, the slide wheel was high on our priorities to knock off too. I was probably more excited for the slide wheel than the coasters, to be honest. I mean, just look at how bonkers it looks. We had to get on this. Lots of wooden coasters on the bingo card today, so we have the ibuprofen. Let's go. You enter Mount Olympus at the top of the park and then walk down the hill, through the woodland, past all the wooden coasters to find civilization. So if you want toilets or food, it's all at the bottom of the hill in the kind of water park area. After having a leisurely lunch, we hopped on Pegasus. This junior wooden coaster is fairly inoffensive with its ups and downs alongside the water park, yet it breaks so harshly into an unbanked turn into the station. It's an absolute wild ending. We decided to work our way up in size order, so Cyclops was next. It's a kind of semi-out and back layout, semi-twister, and it starts with a thrilling dash through the trees. The end of the ride is this giant twisty dive. So much fun and such a great use of the terrain. Zeus is a ridiculously intense out and back wooden coaster with insane airtime. It's a little shaky in the part where it has to do a corner, but mainly its up and down hills give that classic wooden coaster thrills a brilliant ride. Hades 360 then, oh my god, this one has been on the bucket list for years, so we had to come and do it. It did have a massive queue that looked like it was going to be an ordeal, but actually it moved up surprisingly quick to say it only ran one train. The intensity of this roller coaster is crazy off the charts. Dropping into the 800-foot underground tunnel where it does a series of small dips, unbanked turns and 90-degree turns is just a lot, especially as you can't see anything. It really is pitch black in there. Thanks to front seat POVs for this POV with the lights on, so you can kind of see what's happening, but when you're actually riding it, you can't see anything, just have no idea what's happening. And to me, it just felt like an aneurysm. It was a lot. The sweet relief of spiralling upwards into the daylight and through the corkscrew inversion was just joyous. It's actually quite rare for a wooden roller coaster to go upside down, and Hades 360 does it with such fluidity and grace. It's a shame the rest of the ride is anything but this, and you really get that classic shake, rattle and roll of a wooden coaster, but at intensity level 1000. I managed a couple of goes, only as we'd driven so far to get to it, but my word, she's intense. Really, it should have probably been a one and done, but I had to give it another go. It's so intense. It's probably a bit too much for me. The water park then was a welcome change of pace. There's loads of old slides everywhere, a lazy river, and a ridiculous wave pool that has silly tall waves. That was a lot of fun. Of course, Medusa slide wheel was why we're here. The queue took 45 minutes and probably tied with Hades for the longest line of the day. This ride is as bonkers as it looks. You ride on a multi-person raft and basically slosh back and forth inside the giant Ferris wheel contraption. You slide gently up the walls. We actually have some fun airtime pops as well before you move on to the next section as the whole wheel rotates around. It's quite a lot to get your head around what's actually happening. Thankfully, this POV from the manufacturer shows the idea of what's happening inside. So basically it's like being one of those funnel slides, but over and over and over and over again. Overall, we had a fab day at Mount Olympus. Their collection of wooden coasters is great and the attached water park is fun. Overall, we got 4 out of 5 on the coaster bingo card. We missed Little Titans, the park's kiddie coaster, and really, I'm glad we did because we spent our time we had there riding the rides that are actually good. It's a bit strange to see people riding roller coasters in their swimwear, which is absolutely fine. You just need to be wearing shoes or footwear to go on the rides, which makes it more Hades free titty than Hades 360, but hey, we're all up for that kind of fun. Was it worth the $5 ticket and the $10 stint for parking? Absolutely. Next time I visit the area, I'll definitely stay over and plan more time to explore what the Dells has to offer properly. It looked like such a cool, quirky, fun place. Of course it's a tourist trap, but you've just got to be down for that and embrace it and go along with it. After we were done with Mount Olympus, we took the 2-hour 30-minute drive, 165 miles, back south to Gurney, where we'd be staying the next 2 nights at the Country Inn and Suites, just across the road from Six Flags. I do love staying in a big old country inn. Although since COVID, they are definitely more stingy with those free cookies. And most have filled their hot tubs in to save on maintenance costs, which is such a shame. You used to get an indoor pool and a hot tub, but now you probably get the indoor pool, the heating's turned off and the hot tub's concreted over. But it's still a slightly nicer class of room and you do get a complimentary hot breakfast. In the Country Inn and Suites, Gurney then set us back £158 for 2 nights, so that worked out at £40 per person per night. So not bad value at all to have a little extra comfort. Coming up in the next video, we're visiting Six Flags Great America for the first time. This gargantuan Six Flags park has such a weighty coaster bingo card, full of cred anxiety. Will we actually manage to get on all of the roller coasters? There's a lot to do here. We experienced one of the fastest accelerating roller coasters in the entire world. How much of a Six Flags day will we have? If you have any questions about planning a roller coaster road trip, please leave it in the comments below, and until next time, stay safe on the way out and back.